Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Darius Flowers to defeat Jake Matthews. And I'm here to talk about Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dulgarian. This is an awesome matchup with a few different wrinkles to it, which I'll get to in a second. But I really hope more than anything with this matchup that it goes past round one. I want to see what Isaac Dulgarian looks like in rounds 2 and 3. And I really want to see what he looks like in a competitive fight where something doesn't go his way. But so far, everything's gone exactly, precisely the way he would want it. And that's why he is undefeated as a pro or an amateur. And he's never gone past round one. Whether it's submission or knockout or TKO, every one of his wins looks the same. It's a round one destruction, a big shot, takedown, advancing, and then a finish. And that was the case even into the UFC against Francis Marshall, which I thought that fight was going to be the big test. But he insisted on the finish, and he got it with seconds left from a full mount or three-quarter mount or whatever. But he overwhelmed him, landed a few short shots, advanced, and then just pounced on him with those final seconds and got the finish. And I think there's a chance that happens here. There is a chance. But my official prediction, not that you should put any fucking stock in this prediction at all, especially once you hear how fucking stupid it is. My official prediction is Isaac Dulgarian wins by decision. I think he uses his wrestling to slow things down. Not at first, maybe he uses his wrestling and his everything he has to go for the seek and destroy finish. But I think Christian Rodriguez survives because he's never been put away as a pro or an amateur, and he is a very composed fighter who can handle guys on top of him, even monsters like Jonathan Pierce. So I think he survives any big onslaught from Isaac Dulgarian, the round one thing we've seen from him. And then down the stretch, he could take over with his hands. Christian Rodriguez is precisely the kind of fighter that could take over. And that's why I really want to see this one go past round one. But I think before he does, my prediction is Isaac Dulgarian still has that wrestling and that strength on him, and he's able to rip Christian down to the mat and slow him down. But I don't see value on Isaac Dulgarian. I mean, he could win via destruction or decision, and I guess if it floats your boat, minus 150 might do it for you. But for me, I just have too much doubt because I expect Christian to survive the onslaught, and then I'm imagining the scenario where he uses his wrestling to slow Christian down, but I haven't seen that. What I have seen is Christian Rodriguez fight deep into the fight, rounds two, and I think he's been to round three in half of his fights. And also half of his 11 fights are against fighters that are way better than anybody Isaac Dulgarian's fought or beaten. So Christian Rodriguez has experience and everything on his side. I think he's the better striker, better grappler, certainly better submission artist, more refined. I think he's much more comfortable from his back, but I think he's giving up strength and wrestling. And I think Isaac Dulgarian duplicates some of the success Jonathan Pierce had. But Jonathan Pierce, who is a much more refined fighter and much more versatile fighter, I think, than Isaac Dulgarian, despite having many good attempts, wasn't able to put C-Rod away. C-Rod's Christian Rodriguez, by the way. And Christian Rodriguez is a guy who is a third-round fighter. I mean, he is a third-round fighter. The guy has an excellent gas tank, going way back to his LFA win over Charalampos Gregorio, who's making his UFC debut on this card. Christian Rodriguez outlasted him and took him out on the feet, standing. But since making it to the UFC, while not producing these third-round finishes or whatever, he has schooled a lot of fighters and looked good down the stretch against particularly Raul Rosas Jr., who was a first-round monster. He had that decision over whoever, but Mando Gutierrez. But Raul was a youngster waiting to be tamed, and Christian Rodriguez tamed him, took everything he had, slowed him down, and took over the fight for the second half. So, and of course against Cameron Simon, that was a fucking wild fight with a lot of scrambling, and Christian looked solid the whole way through, even if the third round was kind of close. Also against Jonathan Pierce, Christian Rodriguez definitely lost round 3, but he was halfway to getting a finish early in round 3. Came out of the gate really hot. It's just Jonathan Pierce was too big, too strong, and I believe C-Rod took that fight on a few days' notice too. So it was just horrible circumstances, and Pierce was too much for him. But even there, with Pierce all over him, he while he wasn't scrambling as well as he was early on in round 1, he was still composed and never came close to getting finished against Pierce, or he didn't get finished anyway. So I trust Christian Rodriguez a lot more as a fighter, and that's got me thinking maybe there's some value on him. I'll wait to see the props, his round 3 and decision, but I right now I'm just staying away from this. And Isaac Dulgarian, while my official prediction is him winning by decision, a round 1 destruction wouldn't surprise me either, because I know he's gonna have the wrestling on his side and the strength, and if he wins on that level and he's able to advance on C-Rod, maybe C-Rod just can't get up, can't get out this time, and it's a positional TKO. I wouldn't be surprised really with any one of these outcomes, but again, the official prediction is Isaac Dulgarian wins this fight by decision somehow, and he does so with wrestling. But again, no faith whatsoever in that pick. I'm asking you not to have any faith either. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.